So this is the video for the new candle mats that I have on my website, and many of you have them already. It's the last kit in the class that we did on making penny rugs all through the summer, and I would like to say that you know, I go on the group and I look at your photos that you send of your rugs, and it's just like I'm a proud mama, you know, that your children bring you their photos home and you put them on the fridge and you're so proud of them. And well, I think, you know, I'm going to take your photos and take them to Staples, print them out and put your name on them and put them on my fridge, because I could not be more pleased with the mats that are coming through from the class. It is just wonderful what you're doing with them. I don't think it's because I'm such a great teacher, but I do think it's because I've expanded your thinking a bit on just an ordinary penny rug with an ordinary blanket stitch. I tried to show you different ways to do it, and you are doing them, which is wonderful. So the one that I was very pleased to see was the lady that did the pin cushion. That was so wonderful. And she just did it from the videos, which was so nice. So you don't need patterns for these penny rugs, not at all. The photo of the onion dye, that one was wonderful too. She showed her before colors of wool, and she showed what happened after, and she did a wonderful job on that rug. So I'm so very pleased that everyone is learning. Learning that a penny rug is just more than pennies and blanket stitching. Although it is very nice to do it this way, there are just so many other alternatives and so many other stitches and ways to do it. So in the class, and I should mention here, those of you that are new to the group, you're probably way behind and not know what we're talking about and what all this is about. So you should go in to the files in our group section and just have a look at those and go through them and watch the videos. We do layouts, we do stitches. There is a video that I did first when I did the set of candle mats, and it's just start to finish how to do your candle mats. We now, some of us do a basting instead of using stick pins. That's about the only difference. So we did the different layouts. We did the hexagon, and we did the diamond, and we did the star and some of the other ones. But the one that we didn't do is just straight rows. And that was the question I asked on the group, and I think 2 of you answered good enough so that 2 of you will get some wool in the mail as a prize. So we just put your pennies in rows, not touching. They don't have to be touching. They can be touching, like this, if you would like. Or they can be spaced open. And I did have someone ask a question with email, and I didn't get back to her. And I'm very sorry about that. That's why I need someone to do these emails for me. She asked why I do the bottom penny first. In just about all of my videos, I stitch the bottom penny on first, and then I put my smaller penny on. And the reason is, and you'll probably want to do it with this rug, perhaps, or maybe not. The threads tone down your colors. So I stitch my larger penny first, and then, for instance, if I'm doing one of these hit and miss, then when I put my top penny on, I can see if it looks good. And then I do the 10-foot rule, which is, if you don't know about our 10-foot rule, it's you put your colors on, you go away about 10 feet and you look at them, because from here to here they are completely different than what you will see 10 feet away. And actually no one's going to really look at your rug as close as you're stitching it. They're going to see it in a room setting, and they're going to see it at a distance. So that's what you go for, that 10-foot rule. So the answer to the question is, I like to have the thread on and have them toned down before I add my other colors, so that I can see better. That one doesn't work. That one's fine, it works. But especially with this size, because when you're working with this size, your thread is going to cover most of that color of the penny. So that totally changes everything when you put your top penny on. And also, I like to not have too many colors of pennies side by side when I do a hit and miss. So that's the answer to that question. One of the layouts is just the open layout. You can do fancy stitching, the same as this, around the outside, and I've actually done a kit that way. And you can bind it. You can blanket stitch it because you're working with wool, or you can do a couple other things which are a bit difficult, but some of you may have seen them. You do curves like this, and you could do your fancy stitching around the curves and blanket stitch it. So there are a lot of different ways that you can finish a wool rug that you can't with a cotton base rug. So you will see probably many examples. Karen has quite a few examples on her website, KM Primitives. And Karen, if you're listening to this, so another way to lay out your candle mats, and I'm showing you this, but I myself would prefer that you have more sizes. It's just a random, you just put them on randomly like this, and it works much better if you have more sizes. But I thought I would just show you this while we're doing it, because it does make a very nice looking different rug, I'll say. There is a photo that we need to show. It's on Pinterest, and it's I'm not sure if it's a blanket or if it's a rug. It's in a crib type thing, and they do have this layout. It's just all different sizes, and some of them are overlapped. Some of them are just overlapped so that you just try and cover the whole thing in by just overlapping them. But as I say, you should have different sizes for that. Now, there's another one that's a little bit different, that it does use the layouts that we had shown in the class, so I'm going to give that one a try for you. So another way is just a little bit of a variation, and you can either take your bottom layer and divide your pennies into shades, not exact colors, but shades. Now I have browns, mostly browns here. I have those a rose burgundy ones there, and then I have a dark center. And so you sort of have a pattern of shades, and then you just start putting your colors on the top in a random order. Just randomly put them all around. Let's see. That one I don't like, that's too light, but some of these colors, I've used that in the pincushion one, I think. Yeah, I've used that in the pincushion, and the thread, because it covers it, it just tones it down. But you just continue and add your pennies in a mix-match fashion on the top, rather than have both bottom and top in a hit and miss design. You sort of have your bottom row, or you can have your top row going with shades, and that makes it a little bit different. So now I've had questions on how to put your penny rugs, cut your penny rugs out from one large piece of wool like this. So that's what I'll show you next. And do remember that the threads that you use and the stitches, they are a definite design feature in this type of rug. Because they're so busy and there's so much color and so much going on in a hit and miss, keep it quite simple, but you can use the decorative stitches, especially when your penny is these sizes and your stitches are going to cover that bottom penny. And then the top penny, you can just put something in the middle, maybe a French knot. And remember, when we did the blanket, the teaching rug, the videos on that, we had a definite pattern color. And also, I don't have anything here to show you, but for instance, the 3 of diamonds, that was a definite pattern color, so you knew where your colors were going to go. And what I do now, I'm not doing it on this because you have to change arranging your colors to what looks best. But now when I stitch a definite pattern, I just take my needle and I put it through there and up through and put a little knot there, and that keeps it. And then I put my stack on my wool or my cotton in whatever design I'm doing, and it makes it much easier. But I only do that when I have a definite color design going on and I know what color I'm going to be using on as the top penny. So next I will show you how to get your 2 candle mats from this base. So some of you would like to do the 2 mats, the 2 small mats, and you've asked, how do I cut my base wool? And the reason I did a large piece is because this is the last kit in the series for the class, and with this kit we're hoping that you will show us what you've learned in class, and you can do the 2 mats, you can do 1 large mat, you can do some of the designs as I've shown you today in the video. But if you do want to make the 2 mats, just remember how you make a diamond. And you would just lay it out, roughly lay out your diamond. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And a diamond is 6 by 6. Each one going a step over. So you just put down 6 pennies. 2, And I'm just randomly going to put these on. I would change the color. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I would start it close to the edge. Remember, whatever edge you're going to do, if you're going to do a blanket stitch or if you're going to do a half penny edge, an open penny edge, you have to remember that you need your edge here to do it. So I'm just going to put those together like that. If by some chance I've messed up and your base wool isn't large enough for what you're going to do, just message me and let me know. And as I've mentioned with Barbara, I've told Barbara she bought 2 kits and she wanted to do a very large rug. So I don't recommend that you, piece your wool. I will show you something to do with the wool. I probably don't have time today, but I'm going to do up a little mug mat and show you something that you probably haven't thought of with piecing the wool. So you just continue on with that. And do remember that you need to know what edging you're doing before you cut. So am I going to run out of wool? Oh, it's going to be close. 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you find that whatever edging you're going to do, you are running out of wool on that side, and this would be fine if you're going to do an open penny, because that's right on the edge. And if I would have started up here, it would have fit. If you find that you don't have enough room that way, then you have to skew it a bit, like this, and not go with the straight. So you will still have loads of wool on this side for another candle mat, but when you're doing your layout, if you find that you want more wool, if you want an outside binding on this, you just skew it like this until it fits. And both of them will fit. Lots of room for them. So that's how you would lay out the 2 mats. And this one is a terrible example, but do remember that the decorative stitching really looks nice, even if it's a hit and miss rug. You don't want to do stitches that you don't like to do. Some of you have mentioned that you don't like to do that stitch. Just do something maybe like this one. This is nice. So they do work with any type of stitching, but these are all nice dark colors, so the decorative stitching will really stand out. So if you have ordered 2, let me know what design layout that you are planning to use, because that way I can sort of judge. You have I think over 70 pennies in here, so I can sort of judge how large to do that piece so that you can get your two kits in there. And as I say, there is something that I want to show you about putting your wool together, wool pieces put together, and I'm going to show you something that you can do on the back of the rug that we haven't gone over yet. But I'd like to have a sample done so I can show you that. So that is about it for the candle mats. I'm going to be sending out more next week, whether it's Monday or Wednesday, I'm not sure. And the thread in this kit, the new kit that I'm sending out, is a bit of a darker color. So that will not change the look so much, but it will give you more ways to work with your design. For those that I'm sending out this week, it's the last of the candle mats that I have orders for, and I decided that I would use a darker thread. Many of the kits that you have for the teaching rug have a bit darker thread, so I would like, when you have your rugs finished, I'd like the class to see the difference when you're using different colored thread. So I think that's going to be it, and I think that's going to be it for today, because I am just so tired talking to myself here. And this one, the David Starr, has quite a long set of videos for it. So I'm going to do that one tomorrow. And I'm going to now take a break, and I will have this one posted tomorrow. And if you have any questions about putting your David Starr together, I know you probably won't until I show you exactly how to do it, but if you do have any questions, post them so that I can answer them in the video when I do it. So, okay, I'm going to take a nice long break, and I'm waiting for my Avon lady to come, and I hope everyone has a very nice weekend.